It's time for the Ship's Gonna Happen podcast. Here with a load of laughs, info, and fun, it's Tony B, Dave B, and Timmy D.
Before I go alone. Don't ask me this and one more song. It ain't too costly, no, I ain't too cheap, so just relax. I'm on my knees.
Happy Saturday morning. Welcome to the Ship's Gonna Happen Podcast, episode number 134. My name is Tony B. Alongside me is David B. and Timmy D. We will get into topics about the trucking industry. David's got some stories about what did you do recently, David?
Went to Northwestern Women's Lacrosse game.
Boom! You got a little bit of that. Timmy D's in the studio.
I see you rocking the hoodie with it, huh?
Timmy D. Yeah.
Is that a souvenir from there?
Must be a holiday.
They must have won, right?
They did, yeah.
Nice. So you're listening to Ship's Gonna Happen, episode 134. You can catch us on all the platforms. Just put our name in the search engine and you will find us. David B., happy Saturday morning.
Good Saturday morning, you guys. I'm so glad to see Timmy D today. It's been a minute, and it's a beautiful Saturday morning.
It's been a couple minutes.
Timmy D makes it even brighter. Even brighter. Good-looking Saturday morning. Tony B., we're sitting on the 19th green. As I drove up this morning, I think I stood on the sidewalk for a few minutes and just stared in awe at the 19th green in the yard. You do a great job. You can tell that you take the time to kind of I'm going to say this wrong, like cross mow or whatever the right terminology is.
A little cross-cutting.
Yeah. Looks really, really good. It's best looking yard in the neighborhood. It's awesome. This show, along with all of our shows, brought to you by The Great Divide, 743 East New York Street, downtown Indianapolis. Great place to go after Ship's Gonna Happen week. Great place to go to unwind, get a great meal, get some beverages, hear some good music, chat it up with the locals. Jen and her crew do a great job taking care of you. Sean's back on Friday nights. So
is he?
Every great of reason to head back in there.
Wow.
So check out Great Divide if you're ever in town. Tell them the Ship's Gonna Happen Podcast sent you. Timmy D, how are you this morning? So great
What's
to
up?
see you.
How are you guys?
Good, brother. Good.
Tim, why do we do this show?
Oh, yeah. Transportainment.
Kaboom.
I missed that word. That's a good word.
Yeah.
A little nippy for the end of April, but I don't know. Windy, a little cold, but sunny. That's all you can ask. Not snowing.
Still shorts weather.
Yeah, for
Well,
sure.
of course. I think if I recall correctly, last year about this time we had snow when we woke up on a Saturday morning.
Right.
Just so
With
you know,
that late snow rush.
it was a real late snow. So
I just used a leaf blower. I remember to blow it off.
did you?
It's a little crop dust.
Yeah, that's a good trick.
Yeah. So how's that baby boy, man?
Yeah, he's full of energy and words. I can tell you that.
What words does he say?
my fat butt cannot. He wants me to get down on the floor and play, and that's just a little too much on my old butt. But every word that you can imagine, he uses full sentences, past tense, present tense. He's moving right along. That's for sure.
That's awesome.
How are the other kids with him?
Well, good. I mean, yeah, they're actually all home. That's middle boy. He's doing track this year, so that's going to be interesting. I'll tell you right now, I don't know who you are. I know we're going to talk a little sports, but I hate to say it, but track is brutal to watch.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely brutal.
Paint, dry, grass, grow.
Oh,
track.
my gosh. So wrestling matches kind of suck to watch just because your kid only goes, like, you don't know when they're going to go, and you're there all day in a stuffy gym. But track and field, the field exercises are pretty cool to watch. But they don't really last very long, and then you got to watch someone run a 3,200. Like, I don't want
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's just, or 1,600.
Yeah.
It's brutal.
How's he doing in it, though? It's probably highly... I mean, I always, for my kids going to school, New Pal's track team's pretty decent.
Yeah, they're okay. I mean, he's worked his way up. He started on one of those small bottom flights. He's in the middle flight now. He won his middle flight or flight, whatever they call it, heats. Heats. I'm thinking golf called heats.
Heat.
So he's in the middle heat, and he won his heat on Thursday. So believe it or not, it's almost over. I think I got one more week, and that's it.
Yeah, I'll be out of school soon.
Yeah. Yeah. Then they go to sectionals and all that, right?
Yeah.
But they allow a whole month because like you said, they're out of school 1 month.
But then nowadays, don't they start at the end of July or some crap?
I think so, yeah.
August 2nd.
The hottest months of the year. But hey, Timmy D, why don't you start us off, man? We'll get the trucking, and then we'll get into all the
Here we go.
the trucking news.
Just the number.
You've
got some numbers out.
You wanted to talk about Werner?
I don't know. Y'all want me? Look at me. I just show up. It's been 6 weeks, and y'all like, boom, have good luck.
Welcome back.
So we're gonna take the training wheels off and shove them down.
Boom,
the hill.
just get into it.
Just go.
The only thing I brought up this morning was quarter one results and projections for 2024 type stuff is out. Earnings calls, and it was not pretty.
No,
it was not pretty for most of all of transportation. And the big ones that stick out is Knight and Swift. Their earnings call did not go well, and I mean their stocks down probably 10% on each of them just off of that call. I think 20% on one of them. David B's got the numbers, but it was just something I was alerted to this week. I had some people call me and reach out and kind of ask about the industry in a whole, just because of how some of these stocks and earnings were.
Tim's reported. Right too. You know, if you look at 52-week highs, let's just take JB Hunt for instance. They were at a 52-week high of 219.50, and today they're at 167.30. You know, they say, we talked in pre-show too that you know, the reason why this is because some people say that there's a saturation of trucks in the market, and I'm not so sure I'm buying that. I don't see that, at least on my end. I don't know about your end, Timmy D. Or
that's what I read earlier. Yeah, about the one article saying that there were too many. That's what Knight Swift's saying. Too many trucks in the too much competition, too many trucks availability. But if you look at it though, we talked about a few weeks back. There's been the most bankruptcies in trucking history in 2023. More companies in trucking declared bankruptcy in 2023 in the entire history of trucking. And a lot of it was independent drivers coming out of the COVID. All that stuff's done over. You're into the new Joe Biden economy, right? So you have to deal with it. So high interest rates, right? High gas prices. It's very hard for companies to survive.
Sorry, Tim, I don't mean to talk.
You're good.
But then too, some of those people got into it at COVID.
Yeah, that's right.
This is the way the market's always going to stay.
Yeah.
And when in reality, I mean, when we had Jacinda on that time, we're like,
yeah.
I'm like, you didn't expect it to stay this way.
It's a good point, because she said she was hurting from it. Yeah.
You have that expectation that you're going to get $7,000 from California to the Midwest or whatever, and then now that market's completely dropped, and you're living your life based off of that.
Right.
But I mean, the market saturation, I think, I don't know. I look at the DAP board almost every day now, and it doesn't seem to be a saturated. It seems like there's more loads than there is trucks, even though it's starting to turn. I feel like it's starting to turn back into the carrier's court than it is the customer, but it's definitely been the customer. You know, talked to someone yesterday, and their projection, like, this is kind of the 18-month low. And you think about it, like you said, all these bankrupt companies in 2023, to include Yellow, right, which was Holland, Redaway, New Penn,
it's like 5
Reimer,
companies,
YRC, all, which they said the second, probably the third largest, once you put them all together, the third largest in America, LTL company goes under, and nobody knows.
Right.
And it's so soft that the market is still soft.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Where these earnings calls are still. So you had the third largest company in America go down, and all that freight is still absorbed. Imagine if the company was still open, what these companies would be like on their stock. If it's down now 10 to 20%.
Price war.
Good point.
Yeah. That one company, and then name all the other ones that have filed it in 2023. It's just strange to see that. And the question is, are we at that 18-month low, and this summer may pick back up? That's going to be the $1 million question.
David, what were you saying though about the stocks overall though?
I'm sorry.
Yep.
I took my glasses off. Hold on.
I think I interrupted you.
No. You're good. That was the only truckload. I had the Swift Knight numbers off, but for some whatever reason, I pushed the wrong button. So, but like if we look at Saya, and again, hindsight being 2020, if I was smart enough X amount of years ago to bought stock in
I
Saia,
know.
even at the cost to this day. So they were at a 52-week high of $628.34, and as of today, they're at $517.51. That isn't that just? And so,
amazing.
and then let's move on to this very next one. That the comparison, like you look at the OD stock 52-week high was 227.80. They're still hanging in there at 211.82.
Yeah.
So what makes Saia stock like that? Am I missing
They've always
something?
been a stock darling. I
Really?
yeah. I think it's just
What's pushing that?
I think
though?
it's
don't get
timing. They're growing at a time
the
when
growth.
yeah, I think it's the growth. They ordered like the Yellow Roadway terminals.
Mm.
I think it was XPO, Estes, and Saia took the most.
Really?
So and you know, you have to give them credit. They did rebuild a lot of terminals, and it looks like their expansion was perfectly timed out. I mean, they expanded during COVID, so they took on new business. They're still expanding.
Doesn't seem like
right?
that's an inflated number, or am I missing something? I don't.
You know what?
Is that the
No, it's
right
a good point though, because overall market value, Old Dominion has way more market value than Saia.
That was my point.
Right?
With that
So-
yeah.
So Old Dominion's going to pass all the parameters, right? So, yeah, you know what? I was thinking about that the other day, and it's really about the timing of when they get in to buy the stock and who. So when Saia started to grow, their stock was already like $18-$20 a share.
Mm.
So then the growth just accelerated that number, where Old Dominion has been at a relative number for decades, right? So their growth and expansion came really during the Yellow Roadway mergers, because they benefited
2008, 2014.
They benefited tremendously off of that, the grocery warehouse business and whatnot. And that's why I think they're not having the expansive growth that they're having right now.
So if I remember correctly, last time we had talked about this stock on the air, which is the XPO stock, it was like right at 76.
Right, exactly. That's a good point. Now it's 114. We mentioned it, what it was going to be.
It went up.
Yeah.
Yep. Literally, like right after we talked about it.
What drove it to go up?
Well, they're
Sorry.
no, go ahead.
Oh, let's say kind of a market value
Yeah,
adjustment.
we were looking at their market value, and they were underperforming, and so where they were valued at was. I mean, it's like night and day. You know, they're going to go. We thought 124, 130s where they'll end up by the end of the year. That's probably going to end up. I mean, we nailed it.
52-week high of 130.
Yeah.
Boom.
Tim, the reason.
Boom.
Tim,
Professionals, folks.
Tim, the
That's
reason,
why they kicked me off of this show, because they are the real professionals. They don't need my insights.
Yeah.
They have this under control.
Tim, the reason why it went up is people listen to this show.
Yeah.
They were out buying it. They're
immediately
buying it
went up. Yeah. But I was looking at those numbers, and so like I follow cryptocurrency. You guys know that. So so a lot of these cryptocurrencies, it's like who gets in on the buy-in before it goes public. So some of these cryptocurrencies, and we can talk about Bitcoin's going to be halving, which it's going to be huge, man. It's like a big deal. So, but so when the IPO, the initial stakeholders, when they say, okay, we're going to buy in, it depends on who. That's where the stock price is going to kind of be set, and then it just runs. So some of them, not a lot of people get involved. It's just holding companies. So they may just buy 100 million shares, and it may start out at like 98 cents, right? But some of these may get 2 billion buy-in, and then they're going to start out at 20, 30, 40. It's going to skyrocket.
Right.
So I think that's what's happened to Saia.
To Saia's.
So real quick, if I could.
Yeah.
The railroads, let's just look at the railroad stock. I mean, so BNFS, 52-week average of 430, today 405. And then Norfolk Southern, a 52-week average, 52-week high of 263. Today it's at 241. So.
Interesting. Railroads stay pretty consistent.
Yeah.
We always talk about how efficient it is to move freight on the railroads. I wonder if that's because the capacity's available.
Right, exactly.
So no one's using the rail.
So, but in my head, and I'm not trying to stay with the Saia thing. Wouldn't a railroad stock in your head be more valuable than a Saia stock, or am I missing? Or am I no?
Yeah,
But if you want dividends and all that, right? I mean,
right. But you got to remember though too, like Old Dominion's, the volume. Okay, so the volume average 3-month volume for Old Dominion is 1.3 million.
Mm-hmm.
It's 290,000 for Saya. So the market value and the market cap is much higher at market share. Old Dominion significantly outweighs them in market share. I don't know the exact numbers, but just based on that, that's got to be true.
Arc Best at 138.
Yeah, that's heavy. That's heavy, dude. Arc Best is like, I tell you what, that company's always known how to manage its business. Always has. When I was at Roadway and Roadway was in trouble with the union and we're going to go on strike and oh my God, we're running around. Oh my God, am I going to have a job next year? They want me to get my CDL in case we go on strike, right? And it's like Arc
Tony
Best
driving a truck.
Best never. I was never good on a tow motor. I would never be good in
I love
driving a
being
cab.
on
I could drive
tow
a
motor.
cab.
My
though.
best part of the day is being on a tow motor.
Sorry to interrupt.
I sucked on a tow
Sorry.
motor, man. No, I just never. I think I damaged freight one time when I got on a tow motor and I jumped off. But but they've always been good at managing themselves. Always. With the union and their business.
Okay. I do have a runaway, all doing excellent in the LTL market. Roadrunner at 156. I mean 1.56, excuse me. I put
$1.56.
yes. I didn't mean to give the decimal in the wrong spot or make
Damn,
it
that's
sound
lower than
like-
what yellow was.
156.
52-week high of $2.70.
So now's the time to buy.
Mhm.
They just expanded their terminals, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was going to give you another PAM International. They reported earnings of 1 cent per share for quarter one. The same time last year was 23 cents per
Right.
share.
I'm surprised that PAM is a traded company. And the reason why
So they had an operating loss of $677,000 in quarter one. That followed from quarter four last year, $811,000. So they've lost basically $1.5 million in the last 6 months. That tells you they're strictly truckload. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You do have Warner and Martin transport up.
I wonder if they're going to buy out.
Year to date, very low, 0.60 cents, 0.59. Oh, what would be interesting is to look at third-party stocks, 3PLs. I bet their stock's up.
C.H.
Yeah.
Robinson.
I bet their stock's up. That's let me look at that real quick.
Because of the demand, right?
Right.
Like they can. The
Let's
truck
see.
drivers are needing the loads.
That does.
Although I watch,
yeah,
I'm
they're
telling
up.
you, it shows that the market is saying that it's 4 or 5 loads to every one driver. So I don't get.
71.22.
Yeah, they're up. I knew it because I've seen a lot of 3PL activity in my territory, and it tells me that there's something going on in
But they
pockets of the economy.
That's because I've been knocking on your doors.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? I did see a white truck following me a couple times. I'm gonna have to freaking call you every morning and see where you're going.
C.H. Robinson was a 52-week high of 106.14 today at 71.22.
So they've dropped.
So they're 50. Yeah, they dropped 50%. 71 versus 150.
Did you see that they came out with the top 100 freight brokers, Spot Freight and Fitzmark were both on that list.
Spot Freight and Fitzmark are both local to Indianapolis. That's why it's relevant to
Yeah.
us here as an Indianapolis-based podcast.
Yep.
And I can remember when they started Spot Freight.
Yeah, my wife went to school with the owners.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, the
They're from town here.
The Ellingers, I think. Does that sound right?
Elsner's, Elsner's one of them.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways, I just thought it was relevant
Good
with
stuff.
the earnings report
Yeah.
this week. I've had a few phone calls. I can tell you all my customers seem to be soft. But the interesting is Tony B looked up, and tell me if I'm wrong, what did you look up on purchasing? I'll just let you
The
solve.
purchasing index
Yep.
is increased a little bit this quarter, meaning the purchasing managers and companies are purchasing more raw materials than they were the previous 2 months or 2 quarters, but it's still not where it needs to be.
Right. It's not back where it
Yeah.
was, but that's the question is kind of we brought up pre-show is the 18 to 24 month projection of a freight recession, is that almost at the bottom? are we there yet?
I think it's an election year too, which makes it more difficult to predict that.
Well, that's what we're paying you on the podcast for. I need your prediction.
Well, I don't think we're going to see it until the fourth quarter.
We're not going to see a tick back up until the fourth quarter?
I think the economy comes raging back in the fourth quarter, first quarter, 2025, 2024, fourth quarter, when they lower the interest rates. Right now, they see no need to lower them.
So you think this summer is going to be the lowest summer in years?
I think it's going to be a weird summer. Yeah, I think it's going to be financially.
Will it be a cruel summer?
A what?
Nothing.
A cruel?
Never
cool?
mind.
I think he said cool.
I said cruel, but never mind.
Cruel?
I'm being a dumbass.
I hope it's not cruel,
Just
David.
ignore it. It's a song title. Never mind.
Is it?
Never mind.
Is it? Is it in the
Cruel Summer, Bananarama?
Oh, I've not heard that one.
Oh, yeah, you have.
Have I?
You will when the show's over. He'll play it for you.
I will know it. It will be embedded. No, but it's a good question. I think it'll be. I'm starting to see more pricing activity. I've been doing this a long time, man, and that I know what's happening. I think I don't think it's horrible, but I think it's rough pockets, right? So, certain pockets of our state are going to be based on what they manufacture and warehouse and do. David is in a line of business that seems to do well no matter what the economy does, really.
It stays steady, yeah.
This pretty steady, even flow company.
Everybody needs lubricants.
Man, that's a whole different. We can take a whole. We can let's stay on the path here.
Oh, yes, sir. Sorry.
So, anyways,
So you think it's going to be a low? It's going to be. It's not going to correct itself until quarter four.
Yeah, and I think
quarter four, everyone lost money, right? We all agree quarter four,
or it'll be even. It'll be flat, right? I think it'll be flat. Maybe you're just, maybe they don't get back to the 174 right price, but maybe they're at 160 and they're heading to 170 by the fourth quarter.
Do you see capacity? I don't know, capacity coming to an issue by the end of right about May to June, the LTL capacity is maxed, right?
Yeah, and you're heading into summer, and there's just different products moving.
Typically, February, middle to end of February, the capacity's typically maxed because of the last second purchase orders for quarter one, right? Because you want to spend all your money in quarter one, and you throw in weather. It typically screws the entire LTL market. And then typically, beginning of May to end of June, there's some real heavy activity, and that naturally carries into July and August. Do you see that being a capacity issue where the truckload market will correct itself to where because of the purchasing being up?
I see it being thinner than most years, in that this being a political election year.
Yeah, that's
you don't know,
loop, right?
Yeah, so when you look, when we just look, we're positive people. I'm not trying to be negative Nanny, but when you look at like what's going on, it looks like it's flat, right? And then you add in the political element, and it looks like it's completely nuts, right?
Yep.
So, I don't want to predict anything bad, but it just seems like there might be something weird happen politically that affects the economy too.
No, it's the thing.
I don't know.
We always talk about it, whether it's on this show or outside this show, that typically the freight industry is the first one that can predict, project, or foresee the economy itself, because we see it every day on our trucks and the volume of business, and that's all via purchasing. At the end of the day, it's all purchasing, whether it's the end user or the beginning manufacturer. We see that every single day. And it being an election year, you throw that loop in there, and because no one knows if they're going to have it depends on what they think and it's just different. The stability, because what you're getting once you have a president in the office, the stability, that's going to be like this for the next 4 years, right? You just know that. Not that the president himself kind of controls a lot of that, but the people's mind believe a certain way. And so that's why I'm just curious what your thoughts were. What's your guys' projection where you're at, Dave, as far as it going to be a record year again or not?
No, right now we're down 4 mil where we were last year. But, still, that still is probably about 50 mil up from, 3 years ago. It's still going well. Everything's chugging along, and the employment rate is still good. And they're high, and they're actually talking about building a facility out west, another production facility out west. So
Where at?
Why? Who else wouldn't? I mean, where else would you go but Wyoming? Who doesn't? When you think of commerce, and you think
I could see you in a cowboy hat.
When you think of commerce and trucking capacity, mucho grande bucket
Some
size.
boots.
So
So
anyway,
here's the other thing that's been brought to my attention, and maybe you guys, I don't know if anyone else has thought about this. A customer of mine brought this up. Is let's say that my customer did $5 million in quarter one of gross revenue in 2019, and then they did, let's just say they did $5 million in 2021. This year, they're doing the same $5 million in revenue, but sales are down by 25%. And that's because their price of their goods have gone up.
Yeah.
So that just because their revenue
Just
number
increases,
is equal to the year before or the year before that, realistically the sales are down. So the revenue is inflated for sure. So when you look at some of these companies that are reporting $1.5 million loss, realistically, what is that number on loss of business?
Yeah.
Is it really just 1.5 million, or is that more closer to 2.5 million?
that's a great point, because I would think if we were running the Tony, Dave, and Tim company and we lost $4 million, somebody would be losing the job.
Yeah.
And nobody's.
So do you think, is that from, do you know, well, if you don't want to say, that's fine, but do you know what that 4 million's from? Is that just,
It's
lost account maybe, or
certain accounts are down.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got you.
Stop consuming.
Right. Or they're buying from a different competitor is what I'm going to guess.
Got you.
Like our
Because-
biggest customer is, just.
But you guys are pretty much, where would you say you are in the in that arena, your arena, your competitive market? Where would you guys be?
I'd,
He's just in transportation, bud. He
right.
don't know.
I'd say just kind of the right answer. Probably just right there, I guess. I'm not privy to that part of.
Okay.
But I mean, the cost of freight always does weigh in on. Always.
Oh,
weighs
yeah,
in on it.
absolutely.
Always weighs in.
Right.
Always. That's
Yeah.
always part of the equation. It's just
Mhm.
after that, I don't.
Tim,
We'll call we'll wait. You go ahead and call the owner. We'll be right
No,
here.
well, I actually have our ERP up right now. I was going to look at actual numbers.
we probably should preface the fact that we're all in trucking because they allow us to be.
Yes.
Right.
Quote-
We didn't startle or surprise or impress anybody.
Quoting the great Ed Perry.
Yeah. It's because they
Ed.
allow us to be.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so
But-
I just thought it was interesting that the quarter ones come out, some transportation stuff there that kind of is applicable.
I did
to,
get an old
this.
school invite the other day for a transportation carb day thing. And I'm
United
No
States
way.
Mail.
Are you kidding me?
no, an invitation, like a verbal invitation.
Oh, so it
I'm
wasn't old
sorry.
school.
To Carb Day?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm like-
that's David B's.
I haven't done that in
First time I met-
probably 10 years, I bet.
First time I met David B.
I thought you and I went out.
You guys had to have gone on Carb Day. Or did you
I
start
think
going,
so.
Dave? My first time meeting Dave, I saw his rep walking up, and I heard a lot of things about David B. All good, and he was a roadway liked it. David B.
Such a suck ass, ain't he?
Yeah.
David B. was a top roadway customer. So David B. comes strolling in, and
Skinny as F.
he goes, "Hey Tony, yeah, I've heard your name. All good."
Mm-hmm.
Probably not. And then David turned around, and then he started like throwing these shots back to everybody.
Jello shot.
Oh my God, they were good. They were what was it? It was a
Like
apple pie.
a,
Oh my God, it was
Yeah.
good. I kept saying, "Hey, David, can I get one more?"
yeah.
Sure. Oh, it was
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. Those
Yeah.
were awesome.
So is this old school? Somebody ask you, or
Yeah.
Oh
Mhm.
man,
Uh-huh.
David B,
Yeah.
tell us what's going on.
Oh,
man.
so it's
That's right up your alley, by the way. Real quick, hold on. Carb
Yeah.
day. You can start at 8. You can be done by 2. That's right up your alley.
Right.
That's
Right.
perfect
I
for
think
you.
that, so the best
You
carb,
won't even
like,
make it to the concert.
my two
Yeah.
favorite carb days are, there was one year, and I don't remember the exact year that was, where there was a light mist rain all day. It was the best carb day. I mean, everybody was still there.
Everybody had wet
Everybody was having a great
t-shirts.
time.
You ever been
The
to
cars
Yeah.
were not out, which is here there with me. And it was just the best day. And then another time is when I arrived at like 10 a.m. just because of a scheduling thing, and I left at 2. And it was a simple in and it was simple out because everybody was either one already there or two, they were going to the concert, you know? And I'm like, this is perfect, you know?
It is, David. I always thought, like, you could attest to this. Timmy D, maybe not, because he's more of a Reds fan than a Cubs fan. But the Cubs had the bleachers, right? And so it was legendary to get a bleacher seat back in the day in Chicago because they would always have the cameras on the bleachers. Then there was a production company that did a whole sitcom thing. It was local in Chicago called the Bleacher Bums. And these guys would be going to the games and they'd be drinking and stuff. And it would be like a whole episode. So I always thought when I went to Carb Day, it reminded me of Wrigley Field bleachers, the atmosphere of where people are just, I don't even know who the hell was in a car, but it was just so epic. The having customers there, friends there, people you work with. It was, it reminded me of Bleachers. I mean, you could YouTube that. I think you can still pull it up, but. David B.
Old school Carb Day. That's just when you get that invite, you're like, holy cow, I haven't done that forever. That's just.
When's the last time you've been?
Oh, good. I'd say 10 years, but Tim thinks I don't remember.
I thought we went in like 2017 or 18.
Did you go a lot, Tim?
Oh, I don't remember.
I go every year.
Do you really? To Carb Day?
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Did you go with your family?
My dad, I grew up right there.
I know. I just, so why not?
Group. Yeah, there's, I don't know, probably 20 of us or so.
Does your dad still live by there?
Yeah.
So then you got the free parking and all that.
No, we don't. We park at a buddy's. No, we don't. He buys a turn 3 pass or whatever with the season tickets in June the year before. And then the last couple of years, he's been buying a couple extra because I was like, hey, buy me like 5 extra. I'm going to sell them. Because they go for like $200 on Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah. So are you a big 15. Race fan then?
Love it. Yeah, my dad's actually in California right now for the IndyCar.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Because I grew up in Chicago and I was never a race fan. And then I went to the Carb Day and I went to the 500. And even if you're not a race fan, it's an amazing experience, man. You'll never be around 400,000 people like that. That's
that
insane,
track is
dude.
different than some other tracks. I've been to 5 other tracks. Indy 500 is just a completely different atmosphere. Completely different. It is the holy grail of motorsports.
Right.
Period.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just a party, right? Yeah, we get together.
But that's got to be cool. Your brother.
We go out and watch the cars, though.
Yeah.
I sit on the outside. I love to watch the cars. They got rid of Dink on the Indy Lights series beforehand, which is so stupid. But yeah, we literally watch the cars, the pit competition, all that. I've been going since I was probably 14 years old.
Oh, wow.
Either skipping school or my dad taking me out of school. One of the two. I can tell you when I skipped school a couple times, I've seen him at the track and I had to go the other way. But
that's funny because I skipped school with going to the Cubs game.
Did you?
Yeah, my dad used to come get me about lunchtime, and then we'd head to Wrigley Field for a 105, 110 game.
Yeah.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That was back in the day where you could pull right up next to Wrigley Field Park and walk right into the ballpark.
Really?
You can't do that today.
No, that thing is a walking city for like 9 blocks each way.
But the 500 is, and I'll say this not being from Indiana, not being a Hoosier, there's 2 epic places in Indianapolis. Actually, a lot more than that. Butler, the Butler Arena.
Hinkle.
Oh, my God. That's a must. Bloomington, that's a must. Notre Dame's a must. One of the greatest places I've ever seen a football game. I've seen a lot. Concerts, Ruoff Center, Noblesville.
That is
God.
They do it.
The bomb.
Yeah.
The bomb. And I've been all over the country.
Yeah,
It's my number 1 place to see a concert.
Really?
Yes. It blows it away. Yeah. Number 1. Yeah. Because it's strictly the atmosphere, dude. I liked it better than Colorado.
I was going to say, didn't you just go was it the Rocks or?
Yep. The Rocks is awesome, but you're going to have to see, for a big band to play there, they're going to have to play like 10 shows to get the revenue. So because they don't have the seating there.
Oh, they don't?
No, it seats like maybe 5,000 people, 3,000 to 5,000. But it's epic though, man.
I bet it's absolutely jaw dropping.
Yeah. So, but that and the 500, man, is a special thing. And that 500 has been going on since the late 1800s, early 1900s, right?
1903.
Yeah, 1903.
I think that's right. 1903. Yeah.
David,
Seating capacity for Red Rocks is 95-45.
95-45. I was off by
Still, but
4,000.
What's Rudolph sit? It's not a-
16,000.
I was gonna say, it's
Standing
not a
room
big-
only. I think it's like 20. Red Hot Chili Peppers are saying standing room only.
I got tickets. Y'all want?
I got my
I
tickets.
sell them to you.
Seriously?
What I got? Yeah, I bought 11 tickets, thinking all her friends would go. Yeah, I had pre-sale. We're in the pavilion and everything. Yeah, I bought them, and all her friends like, I'm not spending that kind of money. I'm like, I'm not making money on them.
Right, you're not.
I'm just
those
trying
are
to
the
sell.
most expensive
I'm just
tickets
trying
at
to-
Ruoff
yeah.
this year.
They're $181 a ticket.
Yeah, dude.
If you want a pair,
We
let me
bought
know.
the pass.
Yeah, you got the
We
so
got
it
the
comes with it.
pass,
Yep.
but you know what, dude? I'm telling you, you could sell those.
Oh, I know. I can. Well, right now they're going for about $250 a piece,
Yeah.
so I could make some money on them if I want to sell them now. But
You know what you should do? Trade for Fever tickets. You could do a swap with Fever tickets and come out like a bandit. That'd be a good swap.
Fever tickets.
Seating capacity.
I bought some.
Seating capacity for Ruoff is 24,000.
24,000. I thought it was 16.
You bought some Fever tickets. You
Yeah.
got season tickets.
Dave
to the
and I are
Fever?
going July 10th
Wednesday, July 10th.
at noon.
Oh, to a noon game.
Yeah. Against the Washington Mystics. Is that their name?
It is.
I've actually
Yeah.
never seen a Fever game in person.
Dude.
But with Caitlin Clark, even when they weren't. Hold on. The Fevers won a championship.
Yeah. I looked it up. Yeah.
2012.
And played for it.
Catching.
Yeah, to make it
Yeah.
catchings. She's a VP or something for him now, ain't she? Talent acquisition
Something
VP
like
or
that.
something.
Who owns the Fever?
The Pacers.
The
Yeah,
Pacers? That's what I thought.
every NBA owns them.
Owns
They've
every
yet
one
to
of
turn
them?
a profit. They've never turned a profit. The entire WNBA has never turned a profit.
David's got something about that.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody knows this, but the WNBA draft was this past Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had a viewing party.
Big
downtown
news
at-
here in Indy.
Yeah.
at Gainbridge.
Caitlin
What
Clark
happened, Dave?
Caitlin Clark coming to the Fever. So huge already. I don't know if any of you
Got a big contract.
listen to the top four WNBA players all got the exact same contract.
$72,346 or something.
Is that
like
crazy?
But
Well, when you
it's
don't
what
make
the
any
market
money,
is. Yeah.
right? When you're a losing
Yeah.
business, that's what it is.
Why is it? Why is it?
It's
do you
because the viewership is not there.
think? Right.
But with that being said, did you know that the women's Final Four had more views? The women's championship NCAA had more views than the men's championship.
If you believe that.
It's what it is.
It's just the turning point. Is she the person?
Is she
to-
enough to put the league on her back?
Right.
Well, you go
I
back.
don't know that.
But then also too, I mean, what I hope doesn't happen is don't forget about Aaliyah Boston. I mean, she was there to me. She's just as important to that team, in my opinion.
Oh, she will be.
Yeah.
But going back, David, you and I were young when Tim will remember this because he's a Hoosier. But the Cheryl Miller thing
Oh,
Yeah.
sure.
was super huge. This is what this reminds me of.
Okay.
And I went back and watched some Reggie Miller interviews with him about his sister. It's kind of hilarious, man. You should go back. She used to beat the crap out of him. She
Sure.
used to beat him up until he was like a sophomore, junior.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, that's insane.
Mhm.
But the hype of her was just incredible, right? And the women's basketball wasn't that strong, I don't think, to have teams. And she got hurt, I think, too. But anyways, that's what this reminds me of. It's exciting for Indiana to have that exposure. I'm happy.
They've
Exciting.
already they have sellouts. Opening
Yeah.
game, the Knicks or whatever, what are the equivalents is in New York?
The Liberty.
Their sellout are like her first 6 games are sellout.
What was
and
it?
they're- what is it? First
36 out of 40 are being televised? Is that
Yeah,
right?
I was going to say
national?
that was the number I was
Like
thinking.
LeBron in high school when they did
Mhm.
that. ESPN went to all the games.
I think it's not only big for the franchise, it's huge for the city. I think this is just awesome. I don't know if either of you got to listen to her interview on Pat McAfee this week, but to me, Pat
I
McAfee
watched it, yeah.
I love Pat McAfee,
Mhm.
and he did an excellent job with her. And now she's going to be a weekly guest on the or as Tony would say it,
She's got
Pat
pick her day.
McAfee show.
She's got to pick her day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bring Aaron Rodgers back.
There you go.
Is he not on anymore?
No.
I didn't know he was on. I
didn't know he was on.
gone.
Every Tuesday. No, he got because he was saying stuff about
They brought him back though.
and then he said some more stuff about
Oh.
and then
Oh.
yeah. I'm just gonna stop there.
Yeah, I like
Pat McAfee. Bring Aaron Rodgers back.
Yeah.
Tell ESPN to kiss your butt and either pay you the contract or put Aaron Rodgers back on.
Well, he was the one paying Aaron anyway, wasn't he?
Maybe Pat got talked to. Maybe he was visited. Have you guys heard about this yet? About the visit
From ESPN, you mean?
No. Well,
Or,
you ought to listen to Jim Brewer talk about David Chappelle.
okay.
Pulled him. They were in a comedy thing, and Chappelle's like, he's kind of changed a little bit, and then
Chappelle's hilarious.
oh, he is, and Jim Brewer was talking about. He goes, man, Chappelle and I were together alone, and she looks at me and he goes, dude, I was visited. They were telling me what not to say and what not to do. I got to visit. It's all about Chappelle turning down $50 million multiple times. Anyways, he got visited by people we would be surprised that visited him to talk about, hey, you got to kind of, I'm going to go get a cup of coffee in your own house here. Do you want a cup? I mean, it's like people that are that confident, like, could destroy you. So I just wonder if Pat
I don't know.
got to talk.
But Caitlin Clark's going to be great. She's a baller. I watched more women's basketball this year based off of her. I tell you what, IU team's always fun to watch. They're really good. I had them going to the Final Four.
The women's?
Yeah. But
she said she hated playing against IU.
Well, she got beat 2 years out of, but she's a baller. She can shoot that rock anywhere.
You
in the
think
gym.
you could outshoot her?
No. No, she'd break my ankles. In my greatest day, I still think she would hoop all over me. Yes.
Oh yeah. Well, true story. My girlfriend in high school was a top ranked tennis player in the state. I was a pretty good athlete, and so I never played tennis. So I would volley back to her and stuff. I go, well, give me what you got. Right? I couldn't return a serve, dude.
Really?
Smoked me. Would hit the ball right at me.
Wow.
Yeah, and across the lines, like I was not positioned right. I, back like hit it right.
You're pretty good at you're an athletic dude.
I am highly athletic.
You couldn't hit back a serve.
She kicked my butt, dude.
Woo!
I couldn't return it. She had one of the fastest serves in the state. I think it was like close to 100-mile-an-hour serve.
Yeah.
I could barely. I was like, whoa. I'm like, just hit it softer.
Yeah.
And then I hit it right back to her, and then she would do a backhand, and I couldn't reach it. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, this sport sucks.
I'm getting my ass whooped.
I'm taking my racket and I'm going home.
Yeah, I'm going to football practice.
Wow.
Which was dumb. I should have got if I always tell my buddy that comes down, he'll be down in July. I always tell him, man, if we had so we would walk out of high school locker room to the football field, and they'd have these boards you walked on so you protect your cleats. And then over here would be a little mini bus, and some of my buddies were getting on there for the golf team. And we'd be like, those guys, the golf guys. Oh my God. And then if I had to do over again, dude, I'd throw my cleats off and threw my shit off, and I'd have dove onto that golf bus.
Oh yeah.
And been like, I don't care if I play today. I'm on this team now, and I'm going to take somebody's job eventually. I'm like, but because you play golf your whole life, you can't play these other sports.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
So
what other sports you got, Northwestern?
So let's go. Caitlin Clark's, but she's going to sign a Nike deal worth more than $20 million.
Right?
Is it more? I heard it was 20.
Is it $25 million?
Yeah, what I just read was north of 20 mil. So
wow.
And they're going to sell 100 million girls' shoes in the first 2 weeks they come out.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, they were talking not just a shoe, like it would be a line of shoes.
Caitlin Clark's own brand. See, is it too early to do that? Right.
That's a great question. It is a very
got to
good
prove
question.
yourself no matter.
And I don't want to say that. I hope she does it. But what if she?
As far as a celebrity,
think so, yeah.
Celebrity wise.
Oh yeah,
is what I mean.
Oh, her NIL money that last year, I can't imagine.
Gosh.
State Farm, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, that's the thing too. I think Iowa offered her 10, 15 million to stay, and so
she can make so much. She's going to be on every billboard you ever saw. She is the Michael Jordan or LeBron or whatever, whoever the big star you think of. She is going to be it for every team she goes to.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
But did you see what they did in the Final Four? They literally just put someone on her that never looked away.
Right.
Never.
Just stalk
She still
her.
put 40 points up on
Right.
somebody somehow.
Mhm. Yep.
She
Yeah.
could dish the ball too.
She struggled a little bit, but yes, you're right. She's still.
Oh, she was frustrated. She started to the frustration. You watch. She was lazy on defense.
It was fun. She was. She is.
lazy.
It's
on
fun to
defense.
watch, like Angel Reese. Do you know who she is from
Yeah,
LSU?
she's going to Chicago.
dude, it was so funny to watch. Like, some people hate that girl, but I thought, man, it's kind of
for
funny.
being competitive.
Yeah, I mean,
Is she
some
the
people
tall
you
one
read
with the
bad
long
things.
dreads, multicolor.
Yeah, she's actually kind of funny. Dude.
She's a hooper.
Oh my god, I loved it when she did the whole hands in the face to Caitlin Clark.
Oh,
I
yes.
was like,
Yes.
I just thought that was funnier crap, man. That's like Dennis Rodman type stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, I like that. That was funny. But she's a baller too, so she's going to Chicago. Did they pick her? What pick did she go, David?
7th.
Wow. Who was number 2?
It had to be the girl from South Carolina, right?
I don't remember. Sorry.
No, it's all right.
It's got to be the girl from South Carolina that dominated the championship.
I don't think so.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I think it was, man, and I hate to say it this way. Tall white girl went to LA.
Oh yeah, she's.
Brinks.
Um,
Man, I think LA had the second pick and she went to LA, I think, if I remember right. But
Cameron Brink.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I do remember her.
Yeah.
Why would they not? I don't care what that girl from South Carolina is off the chain.
Yeah. I think she did. She go 3rd.
She went 3rd.
Yeah.
Camila
Mhm.
Cardoso.
Yeah, she's from Brazil.
Mhm.
She's a freaking.
Went to Phoenix Mercury.
Brazil, Indiana.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Washington.
No, I don't think Brazil, Indiana. Actually,
Oh.
David.
Okay.
Oh, so the
Just wanted to
Mystics.
clarify.
So the Mystics got Elia Edwards. That
Okay.
was the girl that gave some problems
Mhm.
to them. Wow, that's incredible. It's good stuff.
Well,
though,
I mean,
man.
even coming out of, I hate, next year, look at Paige Beckers coming out of UConn, whoever gets her. And they're talking like that incoming freshman class for, I don't have any specific names, but for college basketball, the women is stellar too.
So what's your prediction, David? Am I hearing WNBA championship?
No.
Is that your-
Playoffs, yeah. But
Playoffs
other
for
than
sure.
that, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
that
How
they
many
can-
teams are there in the WNBA? Do you know?
12.
12 total.
Oh, that's it. I
Yeah,
was
so
thinking-
12, and there's only 12 players per team. So there's only 144 spots, and some teams don't have 12 players on their team. So, yeah, I don't think it's a maximum you have to take 12 players.
You telling me
And that's not a guaranteed
You
contract.
tell
either.
me we got a shot getting on that team. I
Tony,
mean,
you can
I'm in. If you're
identify.
there, I'm in.
You can identify as who you want. You still won't make the team.
Yeah, that's why I was. Yeah, I'm going to say I'm pretty sure there's no chance.
Maybe
No
in the
chance.
senior WNBA, but I don't know about the
senior
rest.
WNBA.
But I think though,
That needs to be that.
if this goes on the trajectory that people think it might go on, there's could probably be expansion, and
They might make money this year.
There we go.
I'm not trying to be sarcastic.
Nope.
I'm being-
How far
But
off are they?
being
Does it-
right?
They lost $10 million last year,
10 million.
So
and they're only getting paid $72,000 apiece.
Right.
So let's do that. Let's say they all got paid $70,000 times 10 players. That's $700,000 times 10 teams. We're at $7 million. We're under. Their salaries are still less than what they lost.
But if they're selling out every game, 36 games, are going to be sold out, right?
What is
Nationally
sellout
televised.
though?
Yeah, well,
No, ESPN is
well, they
forced.
play in a. Yeah.
So this is what they're probably not telling you. ESPN will never admit this, but ESPN is forced to pick up any TNT. They're all forced to pick up WNBA games for the NBA piece of the contract.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
It's
it would.
it's written as one policy,
Mm-hmm.
and that's so. And it's just because of the viewership and the
Right.
sponsorships, and that's just what it is. ESPN just, I hate to say, suck it up. And I'm not trying to disrespect the WNBA, but these are facts. These are business deals, right? If anyone that has ever owned a business or you want to be positive, right? You got to be in the black.
I'd like to find out what led up to, or who was in her ear during the basketball season, who from the Fever, not necessarily in her, but her agency or whatever, to be like, hey, look, this is the way we think things are going to go. What was that? Who was, I'm just curious, who was talking to her?
She said that when she was last year, I saw an interview with her. She said that she was happy that Indiana got the number 1 pick. She was that's where she wanted to go because it was close to home. It was only a 5 to 7 hour drive.
Okay.
So she was ecstatic that Indiana, because she felt that shared her values of where she grew up in Iowa. So she found out that they might get the number one pick. And then they started talking like you're probably going to be our number one pick. So that's where it started.
Okay.
And so last year's where it started is what she said. And
we're a smaller town where she can levitate, you know.
Yeah.
She's not on a New York spotlight.
I don't think she wanted to go to Chicago or New York.
Okay.
You know, I think she wanted to go to Indianapolis.
Good. I think that's
perfect.
And realistically, I bet the Fever sell out more tickets than 90% of the other teams, just because it's Indiana and it's basketball. It's just what it is.
I've never been to one.
The Pacer game, the Pacer game always historically
really
has 10,000 people in there, and when all these other NBA stadiums are half empty, even when they suck, and that's just because people in Indiana like basketball. That's what it is. I mean, we could close our eyes and put 8,000 people to watch the Pacers.
Yeah, that's true.
So
we could get a 3-on-3 game today and probably pick up 20,000 fans.
Who's we?
it'd be on the whatever type of laughing you want to.
Who's we?
Yeah.
Who's we? No, David's like, you got to pick another person.
Yeah. Who's we?
I'm out.
Who's we? How much running do I got to do?
Oh, God, that's funny.
Oh, we're not doing full court. I can tell you that.
Yeah, it's
we're
only
not gonna do half
court.
court. We're going to do
3-point line.
We're going to do driveway.
Sold.
Yeah, 3-point line's now the new half court.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I'm sore just talking about it.
I know. I'm out of breath already. Pick me up. But
all right, what else you
David,
got?
come on.
So we'll stick with women's sports. I had the privilege of going to Northwestern University last Saturday and watching the number 1 ranked Northwestern women's lacrosse team whoop Ohio State's ass 19-10. It's excellent. The game, it went exactly how I thought it was going to go. The field was right there on Lake Michigan, and it was just a beautiful day. The weather was awesome, and it was outstanding. And yeah,
did you feel the breeze off the lake?
Did they beat the crap out of each other?
So that's the thing.
That's what lacrosse does, folks. Don't look at me crazy. It's true.
Not in women's. You can't touch anybody. There is no, even if you get this close, Timmy D, it's a green card. Yeah, you cannot touch. There's no
touching.
Nope.
That's a cool sport. I used to take Jacob every 2 times a week up to Fishers to play on a team. It was
lacrosse is
brutal, man.
Yeah, it was. I'm glad I went. I would go again. They play for the Big Ten championship tomorrow against Michigan. So,
where's that at?
Michigan.
Why is it at Michigan?
Is it in the big house?
I'm gonna guess no.
Was Michigan number 1 and better conference record? Or?
It's just the way the schedule kind of fell.
They don't play neutral necessarily,
right? So yeah, it was. I would go up again and probably make it an overnight trip instead of a day up back trip. That campus up there, it's beautiful. Yeah, absolutely.
Show Timmy D what they're going to do. Oh, if you don't, it's no big deal. Tim, they're going. The 16th at the Waste Management.
Yeah,
Phoenix. How they got those. Northwestern's going to do a temporary seating while they're redoing their field. Just like that.
New field.
Just like that. It's going to be kind of cool. See 10 to 15,000 people.
Really?
Yeah.
And their practice field's right there on Lake Michigan too, right next to the lacrosse field. Yeah, so that was kind of a awesome experience. I tried to avoid the toll roads at all costs, but that didn't do no good.
You got a daggone toll pass.
I know.
Yeah, gets yelled at about it.
I loaded up. So
be like Batman or whoever, where you hit the little button and if your plate gets covered up.
There you go. Yeah.
People were doing that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's a guy in, I think it's New York City or whatever. The police even do it, and and he'll go around to all the cop cars and put it back right. So yeah.
So was it you? Someone I was talking to, they were up there and they were mad that they were surprised / a little disappointed, I guess, more than mad, that they don't have booth workers anymore on the tolls.
Yeah, took them
they
out.
Just send you a bill.
Yeah,
that's it. They're like, I didn't even use my change. I purposely went and got change. I go, when's the last time you traveled?
I know.
They had someone in a booth since.
I had a buddy who did a college internship downtown Chicago at a law firm. He graduated from Loyola. He's really smart.
Yeah.
And what he did was he was going through what do they call it? The It was when they first started them, where you could just drive through it.
Was like a sun pass?
Yeah. So he
Whatever
never
they
bought
call it.
one. And he's like, man, and then we were telling him, like, dude,
Living the life 3 weeks in, just killing it.
I'm like, dude, they're
It's
going to come
free,
back
you
and get you.
idiots.
He's like, there's no way. They don't know me. And I'm like, dude, they're going to get you. $1,300 later.
No.
Oh yeah, dude. He did it for the whole summer. It was like $1,300 because he wasn't paying them.
I love
And then yeah, it's just like the Kentucky thing. You cross that bridge.
Yeah.
$4.
Yeah.
I don't
Now it's
cross it.
either way.
Mhm.
Now it's either way. It used to be if you go back and forth,
Mhm.
they charge you. Now it's
I get off. Now when I come back, I go through it. But when I go down, I get off. I go around. It takes
Go
2
around
more
it,
extra
yeah.
minutes.
There was one section of the road up there that was $12.40.
what?
Coming
That's
back, there was a
it's
section that was
crazy.
$7.20. I'm like, what? No.
Yeah, what is that, dude? Like it cost you like $100 in tolls to get to Chicago.
It was 30.
Well, think
Oh,
about the
man.
bridge that got
Ish.
taken out in
Yes.
Baltimore, how important that was. And that was a toll bridge to
Yeah.
get across to the island.
Was
Gonna build a new one.
I don't know why we don't have safety barriers that are buried out in front of that stuff. Like,
Dude,
so if it's
it's
that crucial of a
so
bridge, like, why are we not
stupid.
protecting it?
Mhm.
Oh my
Yep.
God.
Yep.
Don't even get me started.
Yeah, let's not do that. Time's about up anyway. So that's why you got Northwestern on today because they.
Well,
Yeah.
David's got let's go
I
real
didn't
quick.
expect it to. I didn't expect it to be as nipply as it is this morning.
Yeah.
Either. I'm like,
Nipply. Ooh.
oh,
Good
geez, I
use of
needed
that
a
word.
Sweatshirt.
You got the
I
1990.
do. Yeah.
Let's do that real quick and we'll get out of here.
Yeah. So
Boom. 1990 music.
I'm going to start with some news of 1990 in music. It just kind of makes you as dated as it is. It's in January the 8th of the year 1990, Shania Twain, Jesus, Pete. Sinead O'Connor's single "Nothing Compares to You" is released. So
Great song, dude.
released by Prince wrote that song. So yeah, that was a
He did?
actually yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I think he maybe even originally performed that song before she did. So
You ever heard Chris Cornell's version?
let's just say I don't think I have.
It's pretty good.
I bet it is. Ike Turner was sentenced to 4 years in prison because of cocaine.
Ike and Tina Turner.
Tina will whoop his ass.
Simply the best.
So March 25th, Tommy Lee from Motley Crue is arrested for showing his buttocks in Augusta, Georgia. You got arrested for something like that in 1990? It just seems, I don't know.
He was always in trouble for something. They had the Hawks on him.
Yeah,
They didn't like him.
right. Clearly.
Mhm.
Let's see. Another news I'm just kind of skimming through here. I didn't do a very good job on my homework. So I'll switch to the songs, the Billboard. Do you have your Billboard up, Tony B? Or?
I have, I got the Billboard Top Hits. Billboard Top Hits 1990. Thank God we moved out of 1989 because I tell you what, that was like the worst music year in the history of recording music. It was rancid. That's a good band though.
Yeah.
Be prepared.
You
though,
saw
if you're
them
gonna
last
see 'em.
year,
Yeah, be
right?
prepared. Here we go. You
So
ready?
the Billboard Hot 100, the number one song of 1990. Wilson Phillips, Hold On,
Yeah. Oh, it's weak.
isn't it?
Yeah. Like, okay. Good thing I pulled up. Wait, I thought I did. Oh, yeah. Songs in 1990 rock.
Do you remember that number 2 song at all? Does that ring a bell to you at all?
Wilson Phillips?
No, the number 2 song.
What do you have?
It Must Have Been Love by Roxette. Does that
I
even
don't remember
ring a
it.
bell? Yeah, I knew you.
I was in the Persian Gulf during this time.
Yeah.
I don't remember it.
Poison by Belle Biv DeVoe at number 4. Nothing Compares to You by Sinead O'Connor.
I
at
remember
3.
that one. That was a good song.
Right. Well, there's a lot of not too Vogue by Madonna at number 5.
Madonna.
There is a lot of songs on here that Hold On by In Vogue at number 8. I did like In Vogue. They were sexy.
I remember that song.
Sexy ladies.
Yep.
Yeah. Cradle of Love by Billy Idol at number 9. Bon Jovi, Blaze of Glory in at number 10.
Blaze
for the year
of Glory.
1990.
They had
That's a
a.
good song.
I don't know if you know this. Last night on ABC, I think it was. They had a Billy Joel 100th special or something
I
like
missed that. I saw that. Yeah.
Really?
that. So
Okay.
it was on prime
That was
time
awesome.
Friday night.
Wow.
Billy Joel.
Yeah, that'd been
Wow.
good. If they want you know, the it does look like, though, here's where you start getting the grunge and kind of the weird rock mix. Black Crowes broke out in 1990.
Okay.
Hard to handle.
Mm-hmm.
Probably didn't hit the top. Depeche Mode, Enjoy the Silence.
Yep. That was a good song.
Yeah.
I was a big Depeche Mode guy.
Yeah, they were
I like
good.
that.
Suicide Blonde, In Excess.
Mm-hmm.
Thunderstruck, AC/DC.
Okay.
uh,
All right.
Shelter Me, Cinderella.
At number 45 in 1990, Vanilla Ice, Ice, Ice Baby.
Ice, 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 baby. Yeah, you know something about that song? He got the theme from Queen.
Okay.
Dun, 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 dun,
Mhm.
right?
The
Okay, that's
riff or
Queen.
whatever. Yeah.
dun.
And he tried
He-
to say it wasn't.
Well, but I think he ended up owns the right to that. He ends up owning the
Does he really?
something. It's the craziest story. Yeah.
Oh, you don't.
Because Queen didn't do something in time. Blaze of Glory, there it is. Slaughter, Up All Night.
Mhm. Number 62, The Humpty Dance by Digital Underground. I love that song.
Digital Underground.
Humpty
Digital
Dance.
Underground.
Enjoy the Silence, Depeche Mode. Yeah.
How about Heart? All I
Yeah.
want to do is make love.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
B-52's Love Shack at number
in
70.
the Love Shack. What number? 78?
Yeah.
The Love Shack?
Yeah.
It was huge.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What was
I'm not seeing any, unless I'm looking past, I'm not seeing any grunge at all on the 1990. Am I missing something? Or
it's probably
just a
under
hair too early?
alternative. It's probably under alternative.
oh, okay. Motley Crue at 96, Without You.
Motley Crue.
Tim will know this song. Well, that's not.
Doubtful. I don't think so, Tony.
Are you keying up a song, producer Tony?
I don't think so.
Tim likes country. How about Friends in Low Places? I got friends.
That was 1990.
It says here.
There's
Okay.
no
Got friends
way. That
in
was
low.
Doesn't it-
Garth
doesn't that
Brooks?
sound weird?
Friends in Low Places, best country song of the 90s. Oh,
90s.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that was like
90s.
96 or so,
Was it?
wasn't it? 98.
Seems.
Oh, my
But there's some of those
Lord.
songs you're like, oh, that's 83. And it actually turned out being it was 80.
Yeah, because it's when they release
something.
them. Clint Black, Nobody's Home, Alabama, Southern Star, Eddie Rabbit on the Second Thought, the Oak Ridge Boys, No Matter How High, Patty Loveless, Chains, Randy Travis, Hard,
Randy
Rock
Travis.
Bottom Your Heart, Lori Morgan, 5 Minutes.
Lori Morgan, she's a cutie.
Yeah, The Dance, Garth Brooks did come out in 1990. The
Hmm.
Dance.
Hmm.
Shenandoah, Next to You, Next to Me, Alabama Jukebox in My Mind, Garth Brooks, Friends. It says here 1990. October 27th of 1990. I've got friends. Reba McEntire, You Lie.
Didn't he just pass? No,
Who? Garth Brooks?
Garth Brooks didn't. Who just passed away?
Mm,
Kenny
Oh.
Chesney?
No.
No.
Travis Tritt, right?
What?
No,
Somebody just
it
died?
was like Kenny Chesney that just passed away.
Get out of here. When was this?
Oh, hold on. Who did Red Solo Cup?
Oh, you're talking about my man. That I can't remember his name.
He really was your man then, right?
Yeah, he was a pretty cool dude.
Prop.
Toby Keith.
Toby
Oh,
Keith.
Okay.
Yeah. We're going up,
He-
put a bullet in your ass.
Yeah,
'Cause
he
it's-
just passed away.
Yeah, he did.
Of
Yeah.
natural causes or
Cancer.
Dang, effing cancer.
He had a rare form of cancer, sadly.
Hmm.
Hey, thanks for bringing that up. But yeah,
Wah, wah.
thanks for ending it on a bad note. Tim. Down a note.
He's probably a lot happier now.
Yeah.
Well,
Let's keep it positive here.
Yeah.
Anyway, so David, what else you got?
I can't think of anything right off. I think we're good.
Timmy D, you got anything else, brother?
No, it's good to see you boys. I
It
know.
was.
Dude,
It
this was a great
I'm
show.
kind of like a solar eclipse. You know what I mean?
Oh, let's talk about
Oh,
Hey,
that was awesome.
dude,
I don't know
that
if
was
you
a
guys
good.
got to experience that, but that was super cool.
That was a good time.
Yeah.
Good time.
Yeah, it was awesome how it got really cloudy and the temperature dropped, or not cloudy, I guess, but dark. It was awesome.
Were you awake at that time?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Saw it with his family, right?
Yep. We all got out on a patio and watched it. It was definitely an experience. I'm like kind of a nerd about that stuff anyway. So there's a meteor shower this weekend.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I saw. Yeah,
I think it peaks Sunday night, Monday morning. I think is when it peaks. I think.
Tim, what did you think about the UFO episode? Did you listen to that?
I did not listen to it. I know you guys are having some sort of special guest or something. That's what I listened to a brief piece of it. I don't. When you got a 2.5-year-old, it's tough to. It's tough. That's all I'm gonna tell you.
You're dealing with your own UFO.
Yeah.
I thought she did a great job.
I thought it was awesome. It was pretty good.
I would like to go listen to one of her.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It was fun. Yeah, we talk about a lot of stuff. Tim brought us back to some shipping stuff this morning, and David, so that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about that, but
sometimes you I deal with this all Monday through Friday.
Yeah, you just don't know, man. Seems like people like to talk about a lot of stuff, but it's the Ship's Gonna Happen podcast, episode 134. Go ahead.
I'll say next week, I think there's a couple of shout outs I'd like to give to some of our past guests that are kind of doing some different stuff. I'd like to kind of recognize. I don't have that information in front of me, but
did you see anybody you knew down at the show?
I did not. Okay. The bad part about the Mid-America Truck Show this year was it was the same weekend as the first weekend of the tournament. So
all right.
I decided to get extremely drunk and watch basketball.
Yeah.
Or try to watch basketball.
Tim, have you watched any golf?
Yeah.
Scotty Scheffler's on fire.
Yeah, except he's like 15th right now in the RGB.
Is he really?
This week, yeah. But yes, no, Scheffler is he's pretty good.
Yeah. Do you think it'd be a little different if they were all in it? You know what I mean?
That's what I brought that up.
Yeah.
I brought that up. If all the real competition was there. But he is good. His iron play is off the chain.
It's incredible.
Off the chain.
Yeah.
Speaking of iron.
Off the chain.
Speaking of iron play, have either of the two of you ever heard of a place called the Fifth Iron or the
Iron?
The 5 Iron downtown?
Yeah, they just opened up it's a golf simulator downtown. They just opened up. Is that what you're talking about?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I have not heard of it.
Yeah, I hadn't either until this week.
So they got something down there?
Yeah, but I was like, what? I'd still
just opened it up like 2 weeks ago. It is called. It's right downtown.
Not sponsored.
It's like indoor.
5 Iron Golf.
It's like indoor.
Golf.
It's all indoor. That's pretty cool.
It's right there by Spot Freight. Actually, it's right off the circle.
Have you been to the one over on the west side?
Back 9.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I have not been there.
It's pretty cool.
I've been there a few times.
We'll have to go there.
Yeah, let's do that.
Should go there.
And can you? I know this is a dumb question. You can just go there and like drink. Or
Absolutely.
whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, because they have bands too.
Right.
So okay.
It's really cool. It's brick and stuff. It's really neat. It was Top Golf started a whole new thing, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
So
big business. A lot of money.
Ship's Gonna Happen. We are out. Have a good weekend.